Hello everyone and welcome to Cook for Fun. Me and my husband love our vegetables. Well, most of them anyways. And cauliflower is a staple in our house. And that's why today I bring to you oven-baked tangy charred cauliflower. Cauliflower florets marinated in a rich yogurt marinade flavored with cumin and slow baked. The waiting time for this recipe is a bit long, but trust me, it is worth it. Set a pot of water on boil and add a generous amount of salt, to which I will add 1 medium cauliflower head separated into large florets. Do not do small florets, they will cook way too fast and are also aesthetically not that pleasing. Cover and boil this for 3 minutes, no more. Drain and leave to air dry. We do not want any residual water on them. Cauliflower is already very rich in water content. In a dry bowl, place half a cup of thick yogurt. I am using homemade, which I have strained through muslin and separated the whey. It's extremely important that the water content is as low as possible in your yogurt. We want a flavorful, thick marinade that will actually stick to the cauliflower rather than sit at the bottom of the bowl. To the yogurt, add 1/8 of a cup of fresh lime juice. Add half a teaspoon of freshly minced garlic, half a teaspoon of turmeric powder, and half teaspoon of ground cumin. At which point I thought was the perfect moment to season. But remember, we have added salt to the water in which we blanched our cauliflower, so don't be too heavy-handed. Add 1 tablespoon of finely chopped red onion. This is for flavor as well as texture, because when these are baked, the onion will actually become caramelized, charred and crunchy and will add a wonderful sweetness and texture. Mix everything thoroughly with a spatula, although later I thought that a whisk would have been a better choice. At this point, please taste for seasoning, and I was happy with mine. Add your cauliflower and mix. And remember what I said about using yogurt with a very low water content? Exactly. You see how the onions have settled down at the bottom of the bowl instead of being on the cauliflower? This will actually get worse if your marinade is any more watery. Mix that thoroughly, trying to get as much marinade as possible to settle down on the florets. Then cover with aluminum foil and leave at room temperature for 1 hour, and if refrigerating, at least 3 hours, because warmer temperatures catalyze marinating, during which time we can prepare our baking sheet. Now I know that ovens come with baking sheets, but what this recipe needs is a form of intensity, more than a baking tray but less than a grill. So get your grill rack and line it with an aluminum foil which is cut slightly larger than the rack itself so that you can tuck it at the sides. I wanted to cook this in some form of indirect heat, as I thought that a direct and a harsher form of heat will dry out the marinade and burn it rather than a slow char I was looking for. After an hour, your cauliflower will look something like this, and the marinade will be even more watery than what you last saw it. It is because the salt in the marinade causes the onions to release more water. Brush your DIY baking sheet with vegetable oil and place your cauliflower florets on the sheet. And whatever is left at the bottom of that bowl is liquid gold. Just spoon it over the cauliflower. And I have all my florets flower sides up, and don't ask me why, I just do it that way. Brush the tops with oil and place this in the center of a preheated 200 degrees centigrade oven for 10 minutes. After which, rotate the rack and bake for another 10 minutes. At the end of which, take it out, flip each floret, brush with oil again, place it back for 10 minutes, and at the end of those 10 minutes, rotate it again for a final 10 minutes. So it's a total of 40 minutes, but this will vary because every oven is different. Basically, you take your cauliflower out when they look something like this. A beautiful, light, even char on the surface, and some parts will be more charred than others. Don't worry, that's only because we did not manufacture this in a factory and it's completely organic. At which point you're ready to serve. Serve hot as an entree or a snack. Goes extremely well with beer. Let me start by tasting the ugliest one. The cauliflower will be juicy and have a bite at the center. The outside will be creamy with all that yogurt, with that hit of cumin and the charred shallots. You can head over to my blog where I have tried to elaborate more on this recipe and have fun cooking.